All right, we're continuing our foray into historic markers here in Monroe County. This thing hates me. So we're here. We're looking for more and trying to get them all so you can learn along with us about the history of this county. So stay tuned. We're going to continue going. So stay tuned for more Monroe County. We're here at the Annbriar Golf Course outside of between Columbia and Waterloo, Illinois. And this marker is in loving memory of Alois Luhr, in honor of one of Annbriar's founders who gave his time, knowledge, and assets. May everyone share in his love for golf. All right, here at Annbriar Golf Course, this is in memory of Myron A. Roever, in recognition of his love of golf, his delight in nature and flowers, and his dedication as one of our founders. All right, we're still here at Annbriar's golf course between Columbia and Waterloo, Illinois. And this is their smokehouse. It was built over 100 years ago. The smokehouse still stands on its original site with its distinctive red roof and door. The smokehouse remains in its original condition and is now Annbriar's logo. So there it is. All right, we're near Waterloo, Illinois, and we're here for this abandoned shell of a church, which is kind of cool looking. Actually, it's really cool looking. It's amazing that there's anything standing. That's kind of cool. It's above this engraving SC 1883 up there. All right, this is the Salem-Baum Evangelical Church. On May 11th, 1845, a German-speaking Protestant congregation was organized at the Philip-Baum residence near here. That same year, a log church was erected and a cemetery was opened on 6 acres immediately north of this spot, which was donated by Heinrich Mueller and Philip Hoffman. In 1883, a stone church with steeple, bell, and rooster was built on this 3/4 acre plot, which was donated by Anton Sparwasser. The stonemasons were Ilkner and Newman. The congregation belonged to the German Evangelical Synod of North America, which later became the United Church of Christ. In 1938, the congregation disbanded. The church was closed and the bell was placed in the Trinity United Church of Christ in Belleville. Pretty cool. All right, we're here in Valmeyer, Illinois, and the marker that we're looking for is outside this lovely old building. There we go. And this is the Valmeyer Community Heritage Society Monroe City Schoolhouse Museum. It says Monroe City School was a rural county school district located on KK Road west of Monroe City. This building was constructed in 1918 on land purchased from Gustav Hirsch. An increase of students later required adding a second building and another teacher. The school closed in 1956 with Elliot Altis and Thelma Hess as the last teachers. Harold Baum, who would later become superintendent of the Valmeyer district, was a student and later taught at the Monroe City School. It says, since 2012, third grade students from Valmeyer School have visited Monroe City School to celebrate Little House on the Prairie Day. Members of Valmeyer Community Heritage Society provide a tour of the facility and help the students understand what it would have been like to be a student in a one-room schoolhouse with students of other grade levels. And so there's some pictures of some classes going through that. And here it says the Mississippi River flood of August 1993 caused widespread damage in the village of Valmeyer. After careful study and deliberation by village officials and discussion by Valmeyer residents at town meetings, it was decided to try to relocate a major portion of the community to higher ground. Planning began in September 1993, and the Walter and Dorothy Stimler family agreed to sell part of their farm to be used for the new location of Valmeyer. Ground was broken on the new town site in December 1993. Construction work began in 1994, and the first families began to move into their homes in 1995. Several of the town businesses, including MAR Graphics, Mike's Service and Convenience, the Corner Pub, and First Bank, quickly opened on the new town site. Valmeyer School began classes in their new facility in 1996. All three of the village churches built new facilities and welcomed their congregation to relocated Valmeyer. Since most of the physical memories of the original town had been lost, it was decided to form a group to help preserve the physical and cultural heritage of the Valmeyer area, and that led to the formation of the Valmeyer Community Heritage Society. For many years, this building was lovingly taken care of by the Steinman family. Following a change of ownership, the building was donated to the society by Melvin and Jackie Alscheid in 2011, and it was moved from a creekside pasture in Monroe City to the current location in Valmeyer. The move took about 4 hours from start to finish. After several years of renovation, the building opened to the public in 2016 for the hosting of a traveling Smithsonian Institution exhibit. And there's some pictures up there of what it looked like. And there it is going down the road. The large bell located to your right was originally installed at St. John UCC in Valmeyer in 1914. In 1967, the bell from the closed Harrisonville UCC church replaced the St. John bell, and this bell was purchased by Twyla Miller Luhr. It was displayed in her yard for many years. After the passing of Alois and Twyla Luhr, this bell was donated to the society by the Luhr family. And there it is. So quite an interesting history of this town. I had no idea. Cool. We are outside of Valmeyer, Illinois, and we're here for the Foarke Pavilion at their little park they've got here and ball fields. And this is the marker. The Foarke Pavilion in memory of Floyd F. Foarke Sr. 8 years ago, floodwaters of the Mississippi River washed away most of Valmeyer. It did leave one shining jewel behind, Borsch Park, and all the memories that it carries with it. This park has provided many pleasant hours of use since its construction in 1959. Quite a few of those good times have taken place during the last 30 years since the inception of the Valmeyer Midsummer Classic. During that time, a familiar name around the park has been Foarke, on the field, off the field, and in the stands. Recently, we lost a good friend in Floyd Foarke Sr. Floyd was a devoted Lakers fan and never would think of missing a minute of the Midsummer Classic. He fine-tuned the art of being a baseball enthusiast. He could carefully watch one of his children take part in a 6-4-3 double play while a radio plug in his ear told him his favorite Cardinal player had just struck out. Floyd Foarke Sr. is no longer with us, but the fond memories and the time shared will linger forever. It is with this thought in mind that today we name the newly renovated pavilion at Borsch Park in his memory. On behalf of the village of Valmeyer and the Valmeyer area JCs, we are proud to present the Foarke Pavilion, dedicated July 4th, 2001. This American Legion home is dedicated to the memory of Louis E. Miller, founder and first commander of American Legion Post 901, Valmeyer, Illinois. This outside the American Legion is the M102 Howitzer. The M102 Howitzer fires a 33-pound projectile of semi-fixed ammunition, and at charge 7 will fire 11,500 meters or 7 miles. A roller tire attached to the trail assembly of the M102 permits the weapon to be rotated 64,000 miles around a firing platform, which provides the pivot for the weapon. The weapon can be elevated from -5 degrees to a maximum of 75 degrees. Degrees make more sense to me. There is the roller tire down there. All right, we're out in the country near Valmeyer, Illinois, and this marker, it says Bond, and it says Shadrach Bond Sr., a soldier of the Revolutionary War and the army of George Rogers Clark, settled about 1/3 mile east of this marker in 1782. His nephew, Shadrach Bond, the first governor of the state of Illinois, 1818 to 1822, moved here from Maryland in 1794 and lived with him until 1810. He purchased land near Moordock Lake, where he lived until 1814. He died in Kaskaskia in 1832. We are at the Eagle Cliff Miles Cemetery, out in the country, kind of around Waterloo area. This cemetery was, I guess, established by the Stephen W. Miles family, and it's got a history here of that family. Feel free to pause and read. It is very interesting. Stephen Miles Sr. is probably best known for the mausoleum he had built at the cemetery atop the bluff in 1858 to be used for himself and his descendants. Many other Miles relatives, as well as local residents, were buried in the cemetery outside the vault. Both the cemetery and the mausoleum have suffered extensive vandalism in the past, and a number of old tombstones are now lost or destroyed. The burial plot of Stephen's sister, Amanda Wheeler, may have fallen victim to the vandals. Amanda recorded in her last will and testament her instructions regarding her final resting place. And this was Stephen Miles. And the mausoleum is still there. If you can see out that way, it's out there overlooking the bluff, and it's just amazing. They've started doing a renovation, a restoration. This is what a picture of it looked like, and there are 4.5 acres here, and it's locally known as Miles Cemetery. And there are a lot of veterans born here, graves dating back to the early 1800s. And there is extensive restoration that has gone on. But that's what this cemetery is. And I'm going to give you one more view out through there. And there we go. That big mausoleum out there is his. All right, that up there is the mausoleum that I was telling you about, the Miles family mausoleum that overlooks the bluff. That's where that cemetery is. So he must have been a pretty wealthy man. There you go. This marker's on the Columbia, Illinois City Hall building, and it says Columbia. Original town of Columbia, Illinois, laid out on historic Kaskaskia Trail, was founded by Captain George Rogers Clark's men, year 1820. Columbia Municipal Incorporations, created under the laws of the state of Illinois. They became a town in 1859, a village in 1903, and a city in 1927. Its citizens observed 100th anniversary of incorporation as a town, July 3rd, 4th, and 5th in 1959. So this is a centennial plaque. All right, we are here outside the city park on the edge of the football field for the school for this monument. It is the American freedom fighter and Palestinian girl for the Iraqi, Syrian, and Jordanian border, Christmas Day 2005. I'm going to go up here and show you the plaque. It says Mauricio Alvarez was the sculptor. This place of rest is dedicated to the veterans of this community as well as the rest of America. Well-trained and fierce warriors, but also gentle and kind liberators and protectors of children, women, and men, and defenders of freedom around the world, and to the loved ones of veterans in recognition of the sacrifices they have endured and continue to endure. And there's the Great Seal of the United States. And then it has the seals for the various branches of the military around the rest of the monument. Okay. That's a beautiful, beautiful sculpture, beautiful monument. We are here in Columbia, Illinois, in front of the American Legion. And this marker is for the American Legion Memorial Park. It's a beautiful park down through there. They've got ball fields and playground for children and public bathrooms. And it's really nice. And so this park was established in 1956. And the other side of the marker says it's dedicated to all veterans who served our country with honor. All right, we are here outside the Columbia, Illinois American Legion for this monument, which is the memorial in honor of our sons and daughters who served their nation in freedom's cause, and in memory of those of our number who gave their last full measure in devotion in the 6 great wars: Revolutionary War, War of 1812, Mexican War, the Civil War, the Spanish-American War, and the Great World War. And then down here there's a memorial stone with the names. That's a wonderful monument. We're still in Columbia, Illinois, and this marker here is dedicated to all killed in action, missing in action, and POWs of Monroe County, Illinois, who made the ultimate sacrifice. The vacant chairs we shall meet, but shall miss them. There will be their vacant chairs. We shall linger to caress them when we breathe the evening prayers. And that's from a Civil War song. So that's what this marker is for. This marker is also outside the Shoemaker School area, and it's for the Whiteside Station, circa 1793. William Whiteside, 1747 to 1815, built Whiteside Station as a fort to protect his family. Pioneers and travelers from Indian raids along the Kaskaskia-Cahokia Trail. Whiteside was a patriot of North Carolina during the American Revolutionary War and is buried at Whiteside Station. This marker is approximately 1.9 miles north from where Whiteside Station originally stood. Claim number 520, survey number 412. This marker is outside the City Hall here in Columbia, Illinois, and it marks the Gedern Columbia Sister Cities since 1993. It says this engraved stone was presented to Sister Cities of Columbia, Illinois by our sister city Gedern, Germany in honor of the 25th anniversary of our partnership and friendship. The pedestal was donated by Luhr Brothers, Inc. We're here in Columbia, Illinois, outside the historic Shoemaker School, and here's the marker that we're looking for this one. And it's got a lot of information on there. It says, in 1851, a log school building was built by Hammond Shoemaker on his farm south of Columbia for his children and the families of his neighbors. Shoemaker was the only doctor along the Kaskaskia-Cahokia Trail, the major pioneer thoroughfare across Illinois Territory. A new brick school building was built on the farm in 1867 by Fred Koch. Edward told me how it was pronounced, I don't remember. For construction for $800. In 1891, in accordance with a new school law, the one-room school organized as Shoemaker District Number 4. Shoemaker School became a part of the Columbia School District in 1950. Since the school's directors had already contracted Myron Mage to teach for the 1950-51 term prior to this consolidation, the old school was kept open for one final year. In 1992, the school building was moved to its present site in order to avoid demolition due to the widening of Illinois 3. Acquired by the city of Columbia in 2009, the school was then transformed into the Monroe County Welcome Center and associated facilities. And then it says up here, in 2018, the building was again transformed to become Pop-Up Shop, Columbia, Illinois. This new use for the building allows retail entrepreneurs to test their business concepts and the Columbia, Illinois market. At the same time, encourages visitors to experience the history of the one-room school. And then there's also a stone arch bridge here that, like many of the German immigrants would have built. And they've built a commemorative plaza here for the school. So there it is through there. I'm going to give you a little closer look here at the school, the Shoemaker School. There's a plaque up here on the wall I'm going to get you a picture of. Oh, well, it doesn't really have a whole lot to say. It says it's a historical site, registered and landmark schoolhouse. So, and it's not open. There we go. We are in Palmier Cemetery outside of Columbia, Illinois. It's a historic cemetery. And we were looking for this marker right here. It says Palmier Cemetery was established in 1783, laid out on ground donated by Benjamin and Joseph Ogle, part of the Ogle estate on Palmier Hill, for what would become the oldest cemetery in the Columbia precinct. Flooding in the area caused the cemetery to be located on a hill. The cemetery consists of approximately 6 acres. About 400 names are listed in the burial register, and it may be that earlier burials went unrecorded. It is possible to find stones dating to the mid-1780s. Palmier Cemetery is named after the Palmier family, French Canadians from Quebec, who moved to the Columbia area and lived on near the creek that flows, and that's not me talking Southern Illinoisese, that's what it says, and lived on near the creek that flows south of the cemetery. The creek became known as Palmier Creek. It is claimed that the Palmier family settled here in the 1650s. In 1783, James Piggott traveled the Kaskaskia Trail with George Rogers Clark and his militiamen. By 1787, several of Piggott's friends followed. In all, 17 families had settled in the area by 1790. And there's a picture of the monument that they put up, which is right there. There. And here covers all of the wars and repeats some of the same history, but there it is. Monroe County historical markers. I hope that you are continuing to stick with us through this. We're going to be continuing to find these markers and get them all done. So stay tuned for the next episode of Monroe County Historic Markers.